again, YouTube? Mike here again. Another video. Want to talk about just some daily things I go through. Like I said, I'm trying to have this channel as just repair tech talk. What I wanted to talk about today was, it's funny, I just left a customer, and you know, I've been owning my business now, like I said, it's about 2.5 years, and the things that you're gonna go through, especially if you're a younger guy, if you're young already working in this industry, not having your own company but just working for another company, and you're young meaning under 30 or around 30. Me, I'm 32. People tend to look at you like, hey, does this guy know what you know what he's doing? I mean, I don't really get it that much because I carry myself with confidence. Once I'm going into that house, already in my mind, I'm like, either I'm gonna fix it or I know what it takes to fix it. Simple. But when you're first starting, I remember this just a long time ago. Even when I felt comfortable, my first 5 years in, I'm almost 13 years in now, and I've still go through this. Just today, people look at me and just think, oh, how long you been doing this? Or, you know, is he gonna fix it? Because, you know, with anything, with certain trades or professions, you know, once you got those whiskers, you know, wisdom, they just think, you know, you have more experience, you know, it's which is a given. You know, once I get older, people are gonna look at me and say, yeah, you've been doing it for a while or whatnot. And there's some guys that haven't been, and they're older than me, and they just getting into it, and I have more experience than them. So that's what you're gonna go through constantly. Even going out there and presenting myself with how I present myself, you'll be surprised how much every day somebody says, oh, I'll get with your company, or I'll get with your supervisor, and little do they know, I'm like, I am the supervisor. But sometimes I don't even say anything. I just let them assume what they want to assume. This last job I left, the lady said, are you, oh, you're Mike. I'm like, yeah, I am Mike. She's like, I'm proud of you. That's good. I'm like, yeah, you know, in my mind, I'm like, I paid my dues. I've been doing this for so long now. It's kind of second nature to me. So another thing too, when I wanted to talk about in this video as well, is my main gripes or concerns, or what grinds my gears pretty much, is that when I go behind other companies, and the main thing that people, especially when it comes to older people, is that, oh, the guy never came back, or the guy never returned my phone call, or charged me this much and didn't stand behind his work. Like, what's the, you know, if you have a certain policy, my parts are 90 days. Now, it depends on certain parts that have a year warranty, but a lot of them, like my parts house, is 90 days. So I just go 90 days parts, 30 days labor. After 30 days, you're either paying another service. Sometimes I give people a break, but you're always going to pay another service charge. Maybe not the labor as much, but a service charge. But I just can't stand when people don't go back, especially if it's within 30 days. Just go back. You know, just go back. Make sure the customer is, you know, at least you came back to attempt it. If you can't fix it, or if you refund them a portion, whatever you do. I don't know. Me, I haven't had that happen since I've been in business, because I go back. You know, simple as that. If someone calls back and say, hey, you know, it's not working, or it's not doing something, sometimes it's something minor, sometimes it's something they're doing, sometimes something you did. You know, you never know until you go back and just do that, you know. Little rant for the day. But back to what I was saying before, was that you're constantly gonna get, you know, looks, and especially if you're a young guy, on if you're doing, you know, what you're, you know, the right thing. Are you putting on the right part? You know what you're doing? It's just, you get it all the time. You just gotta assure people, yes, I know what I'm doing. If you want to, like me personally, it doesn't bother me when a customer is there looking or watching. The only time I can say it does really, I don't want to say bother me, but irritates me, is when I'm running into something that's brand new, and I'm maybe trying to see how to get into it. Doesn't take me long, but that's, if I had any gripe, that's what it'd be. But really, it doesn't bother me. I'm to the point where I know what I'm doing to just take things apart and be all right. And then for the most part, once you're doing that, a lot of times the customer will leave you alone. They won't bother you. They'll just let you, oh, I see, you know, you just get right to it. Main thing is that really doesn't affect you, your age or anything, if you have the confidence to know that you're gonna fix it. You know, just say, hey, I'm gonna take care of you. Usually I'm walking in the house, I'm asking them what the problem is, like I said, and I already know what's going on. Today, like I said, I don't get a lot of pre-diagnostic materials. All I got was from the warranty company was Whirlpool. It wasn't even Whirlpool, just a dryer. Takes too long to, or will not turn off. So I get there, it's a 20-year-old Whirlpool dryer, but it's, I don't know if you guys remember the Calypsos, the Whirlpool Calypsos with the tumblers on the side. Well, it's the dryer to that set. And pretty much it's not cutting off. It cuts on as it resets it does dry and works, it just has to plug it out. But pretty much it needs the control board. Part is discontinued. Nothing you can really do on that issue. But very nice lady, and she was an older lady, and you know, I assured her I took things. The main thing, what I always do, sometimes I don't have to take anything apart. Sometimes I do just because I'm curious, and sometimes it makes people feel better. You turn the screwdriver, whatever. Pretty much that's it for today. I didn't want to go through make a long video, but those two things I wanted to touch on. Make sure, you know, me personally, I make sure my reviews are top notch. My Google 5 stars. You know, I haven't had a single bad customer since I really started that I haven't resolved. You know, you'll get customers that, you know, will be upset or anything like that. There was one customer where he called in, his part was going to be in the next day. He was set up 8 to 12. He called and said, well, nobody will be home till 10 because he had something to do at his child's school with him and his wife. My office girl asked him, you know, we're going to be in that area early because, you know, I only had 2 jobs in that area, and told him, like, look, so can somebody be home? You know, most likely we can't be after 10 o'clock. We already let him know that. Oh, okay. We'll see what we can do. Tell Mike to work slow. I'll just be, you know, okay. Sometimes people joke. That next day comes. I already know I was out the area by 9. I call, leave him a message. You know, at least you always call and say, hey, I'm not, you know, I'm already finished in this area. You're going to have to reschedule for tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. That's how that goes. Always call and leave a message. Always let them know. Cover yourself, pretty much. So, that happened. He calls around 10:30. Oh, my wife's home. Well, he calls me first. Because, you know, some customers, when you call them from your personal number, they call you back. Then he calls my office, curses out my office girl, curses me out as well. I can handle it a little better. So I pretty much, you know, I don't take people talking to me like that lightly. And that's all because he just wasn't available. You know, he could have been the next day, what she actually agreed to. But at that point, I told the warranty company, you guys can take the job. You don't even have to pay me for it. I already picked up a deductible from it, but you don't have to pay me for anything else. Just say, I'm not going to deal with customers like that. And he called, apologized. You know, I'm like, look, there's only certain things bothers me, and nobody's going to talk to me. I might not respond in a way where I'll just be like, okay, all right, I hear you, I understand. You know, try to work things out, try to let him know. Even after he cursed me out, we said to him, sir, look, the best thing we can do is come back the next day, blah, blah, blah. He still didn't want that. And then when he did finally agree, well, I have to be first thing in the morning. It doesn't work like that either. You know, at the same time, you're not, if AT&T is supposed to come out to your house between a certain time window, you're going to be there. If not, you're not going to call them and curse them out because they're not there. You know, that's just how it goes. But anyway, that was it for today. This is pretty much my daily rant. And if you guys have any questions or anything, or more content, I'm going to just be doing daily stuff as I can. Sometimes I might skip days, but just Saturday, it's 10:42. I already did 2 jobs. I'm headed to my 3rd. Got 4 jobs today. So you guys take care and have a good day.